Hey, what's up? This is Big Black Barbecue, and today I'm going to be baking an apple tart on our smoker here, our Landman smoker. This is a simple recipe. It's not really too much you have to do. I already have a little bit of prep work done. As you can see here, I have my pie crust in a cast iron skillet. You will need a cast iron skillet. Make sure it is seasoned. And I also got my apples here basting in are sitting in water and a little bit of lemon juice. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm making an apple tart. This is not an apple pie or apple cobbler. The difference between all three of those is the way you put your crust. Apple tart are a tart period. The crust is always at the bottom. There's no top side of the crust. Of course, with a pie, you have a crust on both sides. And a cobbler, you have a crust traditionally just on the top. But I've been having my apples soak here for about 30 minutes now, and I have my crust out getting to room temperature. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I cut these apples. Basically, I'm gonna take an apple. I have Honeycrisp and Granny Smith apples, probably the best you can use for a apple pie or apple tart, but this is how I'm gonna cut them. I'm gonna cut them really thinly, and I'm just gonna cut it like this. You just want to make thin slices down the apple. This recipe is courtesy of Tasty. It's a little spin on it because we're actually smoking, but that's all you're gonna do for the first step. You're just gonna cut these apples really thin. You want something like that, really thin. And just make sure you have enough apples to fill this apple pie or apple tart. But that's all we're going to be doing for the first hand. When I get all these apples cut, I'm going to dump the mixture that I have, which is nutmeg, cinnamon, brown sugar, and sugar itself, granulated sugar. And when I do that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how I place these in this cast iron skillet. But yeah, just get your apples cut. The video to this recipe will actually be in the description link. It is a tasty.com recipe. I will also show you and tell you what the cinnamon mixture is to actually get the apple pie effect of your apples. But that's all we're doing right now. In the meantime, I'm going to also get my grill started. I'm using applewood chips, and we're going to be baking this at 400 degrees, or smoking this, whichever way you want to call it, at 400 degrees. So get that up to 400 degrees while you got after you're cooking your apples or getting your apples cut up, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I'm back. I just let my apples sit in the mixture to make actually the inside filling of apple pie. My grill is actually up to 400 degrees. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show y'all this first. This is what it should look like. Yes, you're gonna have a little juice at the bottom. If you want to make caramel, you can with that, but I'm not. I'm just gonna dump it after I put my apples in. But I'm just gonna put these apples in a circular motion. I'm gonna show you how to do that in just a second. But first, what you want to do with this pie crust is you want to take it and you want to stab holes in it with the fork. Just make a nice little couple of pricks going up and down your pie crust, just so it can cook evenly on this Landman smoker wood pellet grill. That's all you're doing, is just making holes. Don't have to be too. You can make them as fancy as you want to. Me, I'm just doing this just to even it out. Get a little bit more in here. Once you get that part done, you're going to start laying putting your apples down. Your apples should look something like that. All you're going to do is just going around the circle and put your apples down in the circle. That's all we're doing. Basically just putting these apples around in the corners. Make sure your pie crust is high, but all we're doing is putting it around in the circle. And we're going to keep putting them like this, overlapping each other until we get to the middle. This is all you're going to do. Let me make a complete circle here so you know what I'm doing. You can just dump this, but to make it look like an actual apple tart, you have to put them in a circle. There's really no wrong way to do this, but as you see, I'm just overlapping it afterwards. But once you do that part, once it's been sitting there and it's actually got all your apples in there, you have no spaces, you're going to wrap this in aluminum foil, and then we're going to put it out on the smoker at 400 for 30 minutes to start off with. But I'll be back when I'm going to uncover it. After 30 minutes of baking on this smoker, you're going to uncover it and let it cook the rest of the way. But I'll be back when I'm going to uncover it from the grill. Just make sure that your temperature is at 400, stays at around 400. And that's about it. I'll be back shortly. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes on the grill. This is what I have. I'm gonna take this aluminum foil off because our second part we gotta cook. It says on the recipe to cook it for another 15 minutes, but since we're dealing with a pellet smoker, I want my crust to be crispy and golden brown. So I'm just gonna take this off. I'm gonna show you what I have. Try not to burn my fingers. That's what I have. As you see, our crust is still a little bit forming there. So I'm gonna let this go on here for another 30 minutes or so. Come out and check it. See if my crust is actually golden brown. And then when that happens, I'm just gonna take it off and I'm gonna let it sit for an hour. But this is it. It's not too much you have to do. We've already got our apples and everything cooking. Our crust is cooking. We're gonna let this go for another 30 minutes, up to 45 minutes, depending on how good our crust is. And then I'm just gonna take it off, and I'll be back after I let it sit for an hour and let it actually form together. But this is it, guys. I'll be back shortly. Okay, I took it at the grill at exactly 30 minutes extra after I took the aluminum foil off. This is what I got. This is after it's been sitting for an hour. I'm gonna show y'all. Nice little apple tart. I'm gonna cut into this, but before I do that, I'm gonna add a little extra. The tasty video, you could have took that extra juice that was left over from the apples and put heavy cream into it. It'll show you. I'll have that link in my video, but you could have made caramel, but I already got some caramel sauce, so I just decided to use that instead. But we're just gonna go around it, put some caramel sauce around it. Apple's real nice. It smells amazing though. It smells really good. It's very, very, very fragrant. But just cut into this bad boy here. I don't have my pie knife, but see if I can't get a nice piece here. Just a nice, there we go. Got a nice piece there. Scoop this back. And that's what we got. Apple pie. But we're not finished yet. You know, we can't just be finished with that. So we're gonna get a little nice little scoop here of ice cream. And there we go. We got an apple tart with ice cream. Let's give this bad boy a taste. Well, I can tell that the crust at the bottom is done. Yep. Nice. Tastes like a McDonald's apple pie. It really does. It's actually pretty good. Get some with some ice cream here. Yep, nothing to it. Probably one of the easiest things I've baked so far. And that's about it. There's nothing really else to it. Just make sure your cast iron skillet is seasoned. And this is just simple. I think all around it cost me, for the apples and the pie crust thing, cost me around $8-9 altogether, and of course I got wood chips, so this is where it's at. But another part of this video, I'd like to thank all my subscribers. I'm up past 100 now, and I couldn't do this without y'all. I appreciate all y'all for liking and commenting. You know, we've been trying to figure out some things. I know a few of y'all who've been trying to figure out some things with me on this grill, like the peak settings and everything. But I just want to thank y'all, and I want y'all to pay attention to my next video. I will be doing a giveaway. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna give away yet, but it's gonna be something really, really good. Just as an appreciation for y'all liking my videos and subscribing. But just like and comment and subscribe. Tell me what y'all think. If you made this, you know, just let me know what you think about it. But this is Big Black Barbecue, and it's time to eat.